Hello and welcome. How's everybody doing today after that cliffhanger that we had? Well, Facebook cut us off yesterday. It wasn't Facebook. It must have been an internet malfunction. So we left off at a very critical point. You guys may have noticed that. You may have noticed that we were left hanging. So let me get over here to my notes and we are going to hop right in today. So today we're talking about continuation of what we talked about yesterday. And it's, we're on the mindset piece, and it's stop the lies to see the truth of your future. That's what I'm calling this segment. Yesterday we ended with, let's see, what was I saying? I have it written down here. We are living a lie. That's where we left off. So what we do so often is we're living in this lie. We're living in this story that we've made up. We think it's real. We pretend it's real. And then therefore it is real for us. And it's based on faulty assumptions. It's based on false beliefs. It's based on other people's stuff that we've adopted as our own. And we just think that that's true. And we go, oh, okay, well, that must be true. That's what my parents thought, so it must be true. And then we also have our own experiences that we have in life. And as we get those, then we start to draw our own conclusions, which may or may not be correct. We don't know. But we're drawing it on the amount of limiting information that we have. Plus, we're drawing it on what our mind can, what our mind can comprehend and what our mind's frame of reference is. So for example, if somebody's trying to describe to you an elephant and you are a fish in the water, you're gonna only be able to so far, limited way, comprehend really what an elephant is until you've experienced it. And then even after you've experienced it, you may draw your own conclusions. You might think it's scary. You might think it's gorgeous. You might think it's, what's the big deal? It's just a big animal. So what? So you can see where there's many different avenues that we can take that is going to be ingrained as part of our database. You know, it's like part of our operating system, which I call our programming, which creates the virus, which then creates our money blocks, dictates our habits, our patterns, that, you know, what we do, our action or inaction, which ultimately results in our success or not success and our whole experience of life. Like, is it going to be pleasurable or is it going to be, you know, riddled with hardship? Not to say that everything's going to be a fairy tale. By the way, in fairy tales, there's always a villain and there's always a hero. So even there, we have some diversity. The point I'm trying to make is that sometimes we go through life with our blinders on because we can only see so much based on our capacity to see also, and our capacity to comprehend or to digest, or like we talked about yesterday, our ability to filter through information. Maybe some really important information our unconscious mind deleted, or it generalized it into something that's more of a summary level, and so we've lost that detail, and maybe that was an important detail. That happens. So as we go through life, we have blind spots. And you know, blind spots is kind of a buzzword sometimes, but it means you're blind to what is happening, or you're blind to being able to experience something new or different because, you know, you're right here. Boom. Like, for example, I was married to, Nancy's going to love this one. I was married to an Italian man, Massimo. She knew Massimo. And he was really Italian. He was not American Italian. And he pretty much only liked Italian food. Like, he was not interested in trying other foods because Italian was the best food. He already knew that. So he had a blind spot, huge blind spot for trying other foods. He just wasn't, he didn't even want to go there. So what we don't know is really kind of it's a challenge and it's an issue. And so, you can go through life with these blind spots, and people may want to help you, or the resources might be there to help you. But if you don't recognize that there's an issue, well, you're not going to seek help. And you're not going to, and even if help is staring you in the face, you're going to say no to it because you don't think you need it. That's where other people have that stuff. Oh, I'm fine. Nothing going on here. We're just me and the chickens hanging out. So another thing we do, this is all in the realm of mindset, is we put a limit on our happiness. There's a book out called The Big Leap. And in this book, it talks about we put a ceiling on our happiness. And so that, he doesn't say it in the book, but what I'm saying with my teachings is we do put a limit on our ceiling, on our happiness, because part of it's our capacity to be able to experience those happy, joy emotions. So if we have stuck emotions, and the stuck emotions, by the way, are never the happy ones. They're the unpleasant ones. It's usually fear, anger, sadness, what else is it? Hurt, blame, shame, resentment, abandonment. Those are like the top 8. There's a lot more. Those are the ones that get stuck. So when those emotions are stuck, we have put a limit on how high we can go with our happiness, because that's a ball and chain dragging us down, and we just don't even think that is possible. Yet the name of the book is The Big Leap. We just had a question on that. So another thing we can do based on our programming is we can maybe only believe that we can have so much happiness. So emotions is one thing, and the capacity to experience those kind of emotions, those higher level emotions and the higher level vibrations of happiness and joy and peace and love and harmony, tranquility, serenity, all of those. But if we don't believe that we deserve it, as in one of the top 4 money blocks for women is, I don't deserve happiness. I'm not good enough. And I'm not worthy enough. So if you don't believe you're worthy, then you're never going to be able to have a capacity to be able to understand and to be able to know that you can reach higher states of happiness and joy. Yeah. And so it's also part of what we tell ourselves. So, all these things happen, our programming from our parents, from our society, from the media, from whatever groups we belong to, from our friends. All of this is around us. And sometimes we draw our own conclusions. Other times we just adopt that in as, oh, that sounds good. That's a great idea. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use that. That's a good one. And so then we develop our own story. So this is another layer. We just keep layering, and then we come with our story. So one of our segments that we talked about earlier in the series was, what's your money story? And how to turn your money story into a love story with a happy ending. If you weren't there on that one, you want to make sure and go back and listen to that. And so the story can go many ways. Like, for example, I was just thinking here, my sister had one story. So she and I grew up in the same household. Well, she, me, and my brother. So we all grew up in the same household. So we all had the same programming. How much of what we adopted in was different variations. This is really interesting. So part of what we let sink in is partly due to our, just who we are, like our personality. And also, I believe, who we are energetically is what we allow to sink in and what we adopt in as our own. And also how we draw conclusions or not. I mean, I've always been the type where, anything is possible and all is well. Like, I personally have not put a ceiling on my happiness. Like, wow, it's big. And I certainly don't put a happiness on how much I can achieve and how much I can have and the abundance that I can have and the impact that I can have for people. Like, I really do not have limits. Now, I am a very rare breed in that department, and I've only in the last 10 years come to understand that. I thought everybody was like me, but they're not. Newsflash, Olympia. So most people do have limits, like my sister, for example. My sister, growing up in the same house, but different person, different ways she adopted and integrated these programs, was she did not believe that she was good enough. She did not believe she was worthy. And it showed up in all areas of her life, in her relationships. She chose to have husbands and boyfriends that would abuse her. They would beat her up. I mean, she'd land in the hospital several times a year. It was really, really sad. She also found it very hard to hold a job. She wasn't interested in a higher education. She just didn't think she was good enough. And so two very drastic examples of that. And she became an alcoholic, and ultimately she died from that. She got a liver transplant, so she was able to live another 11 years with the transplant, which is a phenomenal amount of time. But that was the path that she went down with the same programming. Now, the path I went down is very different. Now, I became a workaholic, and I sacrificed myself in order to get money so that I could chase this illusion of security, because I thought security was in money. See, she didn't think that. She thought security was in relationships. Even though that person might be beating the shit out of her, she still thought it was in relationships. So I placed mine in money. And from an early age, I realized that for me to have the impact that somehow I just felt and knew that I was meant to have, that I needed money to do that. So I started really down the path of having a relationship with money, even though it wasn't that great. At least I had one. And so I've achieved phenomenal things. I've been a college professor. Who does that? I was a corporate executive at the age of 33. I've worked for IBM. I've had a joint venture partnership with CBS Television for real estate in New York City. We opened the very first real estate joint venture for this type of thing in New York City. Like, it doesn't get any higher than New York in the United States. And we created the first real estate television show. When I worked for the corporation, we were designing computer systems. I was the architect for those. I designed different modeling systems using statistical analysis to predict things for building satellites, and for handling hazardous waste and materials management. So I think you're getting the point. Like, there are no limits from this girl. But the point I'm trying to make is there's different avenues that we take, and it becomes our story. And so what is the story that you're telling yourself, and what are the lies, and what is the truth? And it's hard to know because you've been believing the lies for so long that you think they're true. So where do we go from here? Does anybody want to share in the comments? I'd love to know if there's any ahas that you have so far for yourself. And you may or may not be getting any ahas because you might be going, no, Olympia, I'm fine. Like, nothing's going on here. And maybe you are fine. I'm not saying you're not fine. But one of the first steps, if you do have some issues, is to first identify them. I have whole systems to do that, in my other programs, like the Mind Over Money Makeover, where we really go in and eradicate these money blocks. It's so thorough and deep and strategic, and we systematically go through and we pace ourselves. We find them and we change them, and then they're changed for good. So it's not something I can just, say in a 30-minute Facebook video. how to get out of that situation. But I've done 30 of these, or will have done 30 of these, so you can kind of piece some things together for yourself. Now, this is one thing. Oh, Debbie says she really likes my money necklace. Thank you. Yes, I have money. I'm wearing money. We're gonna go yacht shopping. Who's ever been yacht shopping? Raise your hand or push the little button. Let me know with your comments. Have you ever been yacht shopping? You might be saying, hey, what is yacht shopping? I don't even know what that is. So yacht shopping is big thinking, big picture thinking, and it's visionary. So what do you really want? What is it that you want? So I'm using the metaphor of a yacht because it's kind of, when people think of yachts, they think, oh, you have to be really wealthy to have a yacht. And yes, you do. My boyfriend is actually a yacht broker, and the yachts are more expensive than racehorses. I can tell you that. And you gotta love them. So to go yacht shopping means, okay, well, we're gonna start, thinking about that. Start bringing that into our realm of possibility and opening up our mindset that really can happen. So I'm using the metaphor of yacht shopping. Debbie gets seasick. By the way, I get seasick too. So there you go. You can use something else. She's using cottage by the sea. Whatever it is for you. So we're going to go with yacht shopping, though. So in order for you to really bring into your world and manifest, and I'm not just talking woo-woo manifesting, I'm talking actually doing things that are going to put you in the right position to set you up for success so that you can have these things that you want, you need to start thinking about them. You need to start opening up the space around it for it to come in your life. And so, for example, if you never yacht shopped and a yacht came your way and you go, oh, that's a nice yacht, you'd go, well, but what about the features? Like, does it have this? Does it do that? Like, what would I need in a yacht? Like, why would I want a yacht? Like, what is that? What's the benefits of that? You wouldn't even know like how to ask about what the engine size is or how many compartments it has for sleeping. I actually learned a lot about yachts because my boyfriend's not only in the business, but I go to boat shows with him. And there are some really nice yachts. I went on this sexy, holy schmoly, it's called a Ferretti yacht. I think it was, I don't know, $5 million. I don't know, something like that. And I went on there and the salesman was walking me around and he's telling me about all these features. And I'm like, I didn't know you could have that in a yacht. Well, I'll tell you what my favorite feature of the yacht was it had a hot tub in it. I'm like, I want a yacht with a hot tub. Give me that one. Yes, I want that. And I want the big spacious rooms. I don't want the little crowded rooms with the midget beds in them. If you know anything about yachts, a lot of them, they have these little beds and they say it's for 2 people. And you're like, yeah, my golden retriever could sleep on that, but not 2 people. So anyway, so what are your requirements? What are the possibilities? And so you start to really get into that mode of, oh yeah, that could really happen, or oh, that is going to happen. And then it does. And I've done that so many times in my life. Now I don't personally want a yacht, so that's why I don't have one. But I like it as a metaphor. Okay, Debbie's saying her daughter wants to shop for a high-end Tesla sports car, but she would consider a Lamborghini or a Bugatti. Oh yeah, I get it. Yep. Absolutely. So you can make it whatever you want. So let's type in the comments. Each one of us share. What do you want to go shopping for? We'll wait for those to come in for a moment. And then I'm going to hop over here. I have part of a chart I wanted to share with you. Yeah, okay. So they're not rolling in yet, but I'm sure they will. Facebook's been having a bit of a delay today. So what do you want to go shopping for? As in, what do you really want? And I know men can be averse to shopping, but I'm going to tell you what, every man I've known is not averse to going looking at cars. Yeah, a lot of times it's a car for them. Okay, here she comes. She's coming in with a vacation home. Absolutely. My personal one is I want a house in Hawaii. Like, I just want that. It could just bring me great pleasure. And Debbie's saying medical treatments for her daughter and a house with a maid for her. There you go. It's very personal what you want to go yacht shopping for. All right. So now we're going to go into... Let me get back over here. Okay, so that was one of our resources for today. The resources are the parts where we actually really implement the learnings and get it embodied and get it working for us. So that was number one, was the yacht shopping. Number two is we're going to do something called future visioning. So for future visioning, okay, I'm assuming you're not driving or operating heavy equipment. So you can sit or lay down, relax, close your eyes, and we're going to do a little future visioning. So I'll give you a moment to get settled. And just take 3 nice, deep, slow breaths in and out. Just really coming into now, coming into the moment. Yeah, good. So while we do this exercise, I want you to know that it is limitless. Like, this is a perfect world situation, and it's your perfect world. It's not mine. For me, it's mine. For you, it's yours. For you and your perfect world, anything can happen. Everything is possible. All is well. You are the happiest clam that there could possibly be. The people you want to be there are there with you. You're doing the things you love, and you're feeling the way you want to feel, which is usually pretty happy, positive, joyful. By the way, there's a Buddhist saying that says, in order to know happiness, you must know sadness. And if you think about that, that's really true. Like, to really appreciate and know happiness, if you've never experienced sadness, then you probably really don't appreciate and be able to really, really experience happiness for all it is. Of course you're going to be happy, but you wouldn't have that appreciation for that experience. All right. So we're getting ready to go on a future vision. So I want you to imagine 1 year from now. And it's going to be whatever you want it to be. So in 1 year from now, this is going to be total existential happiness for you, whatever that means. So maybe it's something's happened with your business. Maybe it's something that's happened with your health. Maybe it's something with your relationships, or many of these. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Just something that in your perfect world, 1 year from now, what is that like? And so as you're doing this, it's not that you're imagining it in the future, although it is the future. It's happening to you right now. So you're feeling it, you're seeing it, you're hearing the sounds. If there's any tastes, you're tasting, or if there's smells, you're smelling. So right now, you are there in the future. I also call this the future is now. So you're there. So look around. What do you see? Give you some time to really get a good look. What do you see? And notice how that impacts you. Might impact you with a good feeling. It might impact you with a positive emotion. It might impact you with, like, oh my God, this is fabulous. You might be talking to yourself, saying, oh my God, I really love this. This is fabulous. So that's visual. Now we're going to go on to, so you're here in the future, right now, 1 year from now, everything is perfect. It's your perfect world, the way you want it to be. What are you hearing? So sounds you are hearing could be anything. Could be birds chirping, could be your children, it could be people talking. It could be anything. So what are you hearing here in your perfect world, which is 1 year from now, and you're bringing it to life. The future is now. You're bringing it to life. You are embodying it. The next sense we're going to do is, what are you saying to yourself? It's called audio digital. What are the things that you're saying to yourself? This is that inner voice talking to you. For me, it's usually things like, oh my God, this is so great. Oh, I'm having such a good time. I can't imagine that I would ever want to do or be anywhere else. Or it might be saying to myself, oh, look at all my friends are here. This is fabulous. I love it. Or I'm going to do cartwheels now. Whatever it is for you. Yeah. And then we're going to go to taste. And sometimes there's a taste and sometimes there's not a taste. But you can just throw in a taste if there's not a taste. You could just be in your perfect world 1 year from now and eating your favorite food, which for me is watermelon. So just eat something there in the future, here in the future. You're eating it. You're experiencing it. It's all this joy of life when we are in our five senses and fully expressing ourselves and fully enjoying ourselves and integrating with the experience that we're having right now. Our next sense is kinesthetic. So kinesthetic is twofold. It's the physical touch. So if you're touching something with your hands, or something is touching you, like the wind might be blowing over your skin, or you might feel warmth. So that's all touch. The other part of kinesthetic is the emotions. It's the feelings. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, I feel so relaxed. Wow. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm high. Like wow, this is phenomenal. I feel like my glass is never half empty. It's always full. I have an endless fountain of youth, or whatever it is for you. And our next sense is smell. What are you smelling here in the future? In my future, I'm always smelling tropical flowers. I love those. So Debbie, for you, since you can't do those senses, you're just going to be there in the future and you're just going to notice whatever you notice. Whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be a sense. For you, just notice. Just talk about to yourself, what is it? What is it like? What does it look like? Or you don't do the look. But just, what is it? Like, what's happening? I'm doing this. I'm doing that. This person is here. I've made so much money. Whatever those benchmarks are for you, that's what you're going to do, Debbie. And then after smell, we're going to do Who is there? Who is there to celebrate with you? And also, who is not there? Equally as important to what is there is also what's not there. And it's a good thing that what's not there is not there, whether it's a thing or a person. Because this is your perfect world. This is like your Disneyland. You know, your Disney. Good. Now, oh, Gypsy's sharing with us. I love it. I'm smelling a pot of beans and cornbread cooking in a huge kitchen in the home I have bought for my children and I. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Gypsy. That's so awesome. So you're right here in your perfect future. The future is now, right here. You have just defined it. This is effectively your yacht shopping that we spoke about earlier. And I want you to just check in now. Check in from head to toe. How are you feeling? What do you notice? What do you notice in your body? What do you notice in your mind? And what do you notice in your heart? Whatever it is for you. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no judgment. It's just whatever it is that you're feeling. You're probably feeling pretty awesome right now, I'm imagining. And on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being feeling, whoa, phenomenal, I'm feeling amazing, I'm walking on water, where are you? And please share that. You can share that number or you can share in words, in the comments. And also what we're doing during this series is we're doing hashtag gold. You can type hashtag gold for any gold nuggets that you're getting here in our sessions. And after that, you type what's your aha, what's your realization, what's something you want to share. So please share with me what number you're at right now. 0 to 10. So we've done the check-in. Good. And now we're going to do one more thing. Actually, we're going to do two more things. We're going to set an anchor. Well, we're going to do that in a minute. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open a door. So you can either stand up. This will be more powerful if you're standing, if you can. Otherwise, you can do it sitting and just imagine it, because again, your mind doesn't know the difference. So you're going to imagine that you're stepping through a door. So you're going to take your hand, open the handle. So you're going to hold onto the handle of the door, twist it, push it, whatever it is. Open the door. You're going to walk through the door. And as you walk through the door, you are bringing with you all that you have just created and manifested. And it's in your mind, your heart, and your body. It's all there with you. Bring that with you into your future. And as you walk through the door, you're going to close the door behind you. Physically do that with your hand. Close the door. Right? And what you've left on the other side of the door is what you no longer need. It's what no longer serves you. It was part of those blinders that we were talking about earlier, those blind spots. They are now gone. Ancient history, you're moving forward. Now, how are you feeling? Between 0 and 10, 10 being phenomenal. What is the level that you're at? Please type in the comments. Yeah, good. So we're going to do one last piece to this exercise to cement it in for us. Oh, good. Gypsy's out of 10. Diane saying over the top. Fabulous. If you missed the first part of this, you may want to go back because it kind of sets us up for this exercise. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take one of our knuckles, your non-dominant hand, take the index finger of your dominant hand, and you're going to touch the back of the index finger hand of your non-dominant hand. So for me, it's right finger on the back of the left index finger knuckle, like this. You're just going to touch it, and you're going to hold it. And as you hold it, what you're doing is you're setting a physiological anchor so that all of these great feelings, all of these great senses, all of this experience that really is you, and it is you now, and it's representing who you're going to be as you go forward and bring all of this to life. That's what you're cementing in here. Take your finger away. So you've set this anchor now. And in the future, when you want to have this feeling again, if you're not having it, you just touch it and boom, you come back right into where you are right now. It's that simple. It's that fast. So does anybody have any questions? Debbie is great. Debbie's putting a clear multisensory visualization imaging makes your body and subconscious believe, it's actually your unconscious, believe it exists, and dramatically ups the likelihood of it becoming a reality. Partly because you're unlikely to reject the new future because your body already knows it. That's very good observation. And partly because it's comfortable with this state. That's right. We have just expanded. We've lifted the ceiling on your happiness that we spoke about earlier. Boom. You're welcome. So, does anybody have any questions? Great. I'll leave you with that. And let's see what we've got on the docket for tomorrow. Hashtag gold. Wait, way to go, Diane. After you type hashtag gold, then write what your realization is or your aha. So do a hashtag gold and then whatever you want to share. So tomorrow on April the 16th, we are going to talk about body set. So this is the body set part of where we're keeping or not where we're keeping, we are keeping it. It's the source of what's creating part of the programs, but it's also where we're housing part of the programs because we are embodying this stuff. And so we're going to be talking more about the brain and your body on money. One of the points we're going to talk about is neuroplasticity and novelty, how your brain learns and how it changes. It's going to be a great session. So we'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And when you're ready to get rid of your money blocks, there's two things you can do. One is go to mymoneyblocks.com, take a 2-minute quiz. It's super fast, and it will send you an email letting you know what your money blocks are. And then the other thing you can do is go to Mind Over Money Makeover. That's mindovermoneymakeover.com. I'll put that in the comments. And that is a 7-week course that I have that will eradicate your money blocks. All these things we've talked about in these 30 days and more are all in that class. And people typically get 2 to 4 times their income within 2 to 6 months. They double, triple, or quadruple their income within 2 to 6 months just by changing all of these money blocks, dissolving them, eradicating them. We're getting them out of the mind set, the body set, and the heart set. So if that sounds of interest to you, you can go to mindovermoneymakeover.com, and then you can always reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, know what's happening with you, see if there's any way that I can help you. It would be my pleasure. So thank you for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.